Please subscribe and share this video with your friends. Hi, I'm Marni Batista from Dating with Dignity, and welcome back. Congratulations. You are about ready to watch the third video in our three-part series, 3 Secrets Men Wish You Knew. Now, today, I'm going to teach you what is super counterintuitive. It's why most women have a really hard time getting men to commit. And I'm going to teach you the number one thing that men are really attracted to. Now, here's the thing. For a lot of you, you're smart, you're sophisticated, you've read the books, you've taken the classes. And for you, you might be thinking that what you've learned so far is sort of like, well, frankly, water in the desert. You're like, finally, not just a bunch of ahas, but some practical tools, some strategies, some techniques. And if you are sort of feeling like this is your water in the desert, stay with us for the whole video, because at the end, I'm going to teach you how you can take everything that you've learned and apply it to your life so that you can get beyond like information and education and start applying these strategies so that when you walk out into the world, dating is fun. Dating is easy. You start to attract the good guys and the bad ones sort of just disappear. You're going to know how to answer those random odd text messages and feel really empowered so that you can stand for what you want, plus be in your feminine. So don't worry, that's coming at the end. But for now, get that pen and that paper, because we are down the path of how do I get a guy to commit and understanding why it's totally counterintuitive, plus the number one thing that guys want in a long-term partnership. So here we go. Hey ladies, welcome back. Are you so excited to hear the third secret that men wish you knew? You are going to love this, so let's just dig in. So let's review 3 secrets. We've talked so far about the fact that men wish you knew that no matter what you're wearing or your blow dry or how skinny you are or how big your boobs are, doesn't matter, because it's the inner confidence that really is attractive to them. And when you don't feel good about yourself, when you're frustrated, when you're angry, when work is making you bummed out, when you're just sick of it, they can tell. We also talked about it's your responsibility to select men wisely. Those really good guys, they wish you knew how to say no to the guys that are never going to treat you right, because they're looking for you and waiting for you to say yes to them. And then today, we're going to dive into the third secret men wish you knew, which is that getting them to commit is counterintuitive, explaining why up until this point you may have struggled with getting men to go from liking you, wanting to spend time with you, but being afraid to make the commitment and taking the relationship to the next level. So how are we going to do that? In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to become a man magnet. And the first thing we're going to talk about is what is the number one thing men are attracted to? And remember, it's not about the boobs, it's not about the skinny waist, it's not about having too many kids, not having enough kids, wanting kids. It's something deeper, and once you understand this, it will revolutionize your dating experience. I'm also going to talk to you about 5 specific, tangible things you can do right now to become a better dater. And as a result of practicing these principles and applying them in your life, you are going to catapult yourself to that 10% better than 90% of the women out in the dating jungle, and your results are going to start to improve. And then finally, I'm really excited to share with you these 3 cornerstone foundation principles that once you master, you will be able to not only break free from your romantic rut, but feel confident, love yourself, create a life that you love, and then attract and magnetize someone to you who is amazing to love. And better yet, keep him for the long term. All right, so what is it that men are really attracted to? Well, it starts with this concept, and this is why it's counterintuitive. For many women, we believe the more low maintenance we are, the more easygoing, the more chill, the more that men will want to be with us. And so we try to be that cool girl. But the truth is this, that if you accept crumbs from men, if you say yes to dates that are planned at the last minute, if you meet him out at 11 o'clock, if you don't have boundaries, if you don't state and express your expectations, men actually start to devalue you. And as a result, they begin to see you not as Miss Right, but Miss Right Now. So ultimately, what I need for you to do is understand that not only do you not want to accept crumbs, but that you actually deserve cake. And that when you expect it, when you articulate it, when you demand it in a very feminine, powerful way, men will actually want to spend more time with you, not less. And that is how you begin to get them to commit and see you as that special one. Let's continue with this. How do we really get men to commit and see us in that different way, that we're that special one, the keeper? I want to teach you one of my favorite tips. It's called the 3 R's. So here's how it works. Number 1, it's your responsibility to recognize the flags. Now, a flag can be anything from he doesn't have a great relationship to his mom. He was rude to the waiter. Got a little angry in traffic, or he keeps talking about his ex. Now, what most women do is they see these flags and they either completely ignore them and pretend they're not there, or they expand upon them and they give them reason to leave the relationship or cast him out or discard it. Now, what I want you to understand is that it's your responsibility to recognize these flags for what they are and not to automatically make an assumption that they're red flags. I want you to be able to respond to these flags rather than freak out and react. Meaning, don't ignore it, don't overemphasize it. As you start to date this person, you will be able to figure out whether it's just a pink flag or whether in fact it's a red flag and he needs to go. Now, the reason why this is really attractive to men, the keepers, is that because you're not going to freak out. You're not going to pull away, or you're not going to pretend it doesn't exist. You're going to be calm and confident and in control. Now, ultimately, it's your job to respond appropriately. If you find out that flag is bright red, you need to leave. Now, it doesn't really matter because you'll be out of the relationship, but I promise you that guy will walk away thinking that you were someone special. And, there's a little bit of joy in having him walk away thinking, you know what? She was a keeper. I'm not ready. And if he's amazing, then the fact that you don't freak out about these things that, well, all humans sort of have to deal with, he's going to think that you're amazing, that you're fun to be with, that you're not crazy. Again, it catapults you to that top 10%. And that is what gets a man to commit, the right man. And what else really gets a man turned on? Check this out. It's your ability to set boundaries and then hold them. Hold on to them. So what are some appropriate boundaries we want you to have that will really get a man to take notice of you? First of all, what is a date? A date is something that he plans at least 2 days in advance, preferably. He invites you out, he makes the plan, he either picks you up, he meets you, and he pays. That is a date. I want for you to expect that men ask you out on dates, which means that you have a boundary around it. So when he calls you on a Friday at 6 and says, "What are you doing tonight?" you say, "I'm busy," whether you are or not, because you don't want him to think that you're just available because you have certain expectations about the way you're treated. It's not a manipulation. It's not a game. It's because for you, you want to be treasured and you want him to put some thought into it. You want to be courted. A date is not, "Hey, I'm out with my friends, come meet up with me." A date is not, "Want to come over and watch a movie." Now, of course, if you're dating someone for a while, then all of these things are appropriate. But in the courting stage, I want you to have a boundary around what is a date and then be able to hold it. Now, this boundary is important. In fact, I just had a client who was struggling. She was struggling so hard around not wanting to have sex with this man that she's dating. She really likes him. He's treating her really well. They're starting to make out. And she was texting me and she was saying, "What should I do? What should I do?" And I said, "You gotta wait to have sex." Now, here's what happened. She didn't wait. She didn't wait. And I have no judgment on it. But here's the deal. What happened after is that she felt she lost her power. Now when he's not calling, she's imagining it's because she had sex with him. And she didn't have that boundary. And so she took herself off the pedestal, because I interview tons and tons of men, and without fail, young and old, they all say that if you wait to have sex, they start to place that higher value on you. So I know for some of us, it doesn't make sense. It's like, whatever, I'm responsible, I'm horny, I'm over 30, whatever it is. I'm begging you. If you want a different result, have a boundary around sex and hold it. And then finally, date with dignity. That means that you have expectations and that you're able to articulate them in a feminine and powerful way. That you know what to say yes to. You know what to say no to. Ultimately, when you pull all of these together, a man will see you as very special. He will understand that you are truly a classy lady, and it turns him on. And that you have the confidence to hold these boundaries is something men find really attractive, which ultimately will get them to commit. See, it's counterintuitive. Ladies, you are powerful. I remember in my journey, I didn't understand in the beginning this concept of being powerful. I felt like the men had all the power. They were choosing me. They were picking me. Here's the truth. You lead and you set the tone. And if you come from a place of abundance, that he's not the last guy, or you should be grateful because, he's better than any other guy you dated, and you come from a place of worth and confidence, and you set these boundaries and you have these expectations, you actually sort of train him to be who you want him to be, who you need him to be. And if he can't play along, he's out, which actually saves you time, frustration, and pain. So you are powerful. You lead and you set the tone. The bottom line is you only get what you settle for. And if you settle for good enough when it comes to love, that's what you get. I'm not a believer in the fact that you have to trash your hopes and dreams. You can have passion. You can have chemistry. But remember, there is a lot of men out there in the world. There are a lot of men out there in the world. And it's your opportunity to hold yourself in a place to where you will start to see and notice the good guys everywhere. It's sort of like magic. And finally, chemistry. It's necessary. I told you, you get to have it. I don't think you have to settle. But it's not sufficient. So when you have butterflies and he makes you feel amazing, the invitation for you is to see the whole package. To not futurize about what he could be or fall in love with the potential of who he is, but to see that you are a powerful woman and that you can, in fact, not just have chemistry, but have all of those things that it is that you're looking for in a long-term relationship. So I told you, I would tell you, what are men most attracted to? And it's not the boobs, it's not the skinny waist, it's not being easygoing because you have no needs. Men are most attracted to confidence. And confidence is displayed through your beliefs about yourself and your actions. So when you date from this place of abundance rather than a place of fear or lack, when you date from a place of having confidence and having those boundaries, of saying no to sex, of holding your dignity, getting your needs met, of expecting cake, not crumbs, then that is the message that gets broadcast. So when you put that together with the great dress and feeling good about your external package, you will be a dating rock star. And all of a sudden, men who date you will walk away from those dates sitting in their cars going, she is someone I definitely want to get to know. I hope I am worthy of her. That is being in your power. Now, I want to teach you some little secrets about how you can become a better dater now. Number one, empower men to be men. So here's the deal. It's the 21st century. Men don't kill our food and bring it to us. In fact, women make more money than a lot of the men. They're very successful. And I know when I was dating, my mantra was, I don't need no stinking man, until I realized I wanted one. So if you want an alpha male, we have to be able to connect to that feminine part of ourselves. It doesn't mean we have to be weak or be a damsel in distress. It means that you connect to what is already there. You're women. So I'm going to teach you how to do it easily without having to bend yourself into a pretzel or getting involved in a whole lot of mental gymnastics. The first thing you can do is practice joyful receiving. One of my colleagues, Matt Boggs, talks about the idea that all you have to do is say yes when a man offers you his coat, when he says, would you like to hold my umbrella? When he says, can I bring in your bags? I had a client once who really struggled with joyful receiving. She was dating Brad, and he was really into her. And so on about the fourth date, they decided to go shopping on a Saturday. She needed a new TV. So they went to the store. She asked him for some help being in her feminine, and they picked out a great TV. And they brought it in the house together. Now, my client had been working on joyful receiving, so she forced herself to go in the kitchen and make a snack while he started to assemble the TV. She heard him struggling. She heard some noises from the kitchen. She couldn't take it. She went into the living room and all of a sudden she burst out, you know what? I'm really good at putting TVs together. I can do this myself. And she commandeered the whole project and put the TV together. Guess what happened? Brad never called again. Yeah, that wasn't very mature. He could have at least had a phone call with her. But the bottom line is she went so into her masculine and she wouldn't allow him to step up and be that alpha that it was a turnoff. So whether it's just saying yes to his jacket or allowing him to put the TV together, joyful receiving is a great way you can empower your man to be an alpha male. Now, remember, it's really important that you don't take things personally. When a guy wants to go be with his friends, when he wants to go surfing, when he wants to go work out, when he wants to do guy things, it's actually really great for him because it raises his dopamine and it increases his alpha male-ness. And what a lot of us do is that we take it personally. We think he doesn't want to be with us. And so we project this neediness or this fear. And we're not allowing our man to go out and be a man, to fill up his man tank. So in order to really get a man to be that man that you want, we got to not take things personally and encourage, in fact, him to really pursue those things that fill him up. And then finally, you need to access your soft side. Men are really turned on by a woman who can actually articulate her feelings. So, first of all, you have to be aware of your feelings. Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling glad? Are you feeling mad? Maybe you're scared. Then it's important that you express them to him directly. No games, no manipulation, no silence. And then you include him in trying to come up with a solution or talking about your feelings. Now, the mistake that many women make is that when a man asks what's going on, she goes into what she thinks. I think we should go here. I think you don't want to be with me anymore. I think you're dating someone else. Instead, connect to your feeling. I'm really scared because your behavior has been confusing me lately. Are you wanting to pull away? Has something changed? It will automatically be received by a man in a different way when you connect to your feminine. And if you're able to do this, you will automatically be a better dater and connect with your man to create a more intimate, connected relationship. And he'll find that really attractive. The next thing you can do to be a better dater now is to date with intention. What does that mean? Well, first of all, you have to look at what are you doing now? Is it currently working? Do you have a plan? Are you aware at all of what you're broadcasting? Do you know the beliefs that you have about men, about dating, about love, about relationship, about yourself? And are they holding you back? Are you collecting evidence that you're right about these beliefs? Are you being in your feminine? Are you empowering men to be men? Do you know what expectations are appropriate? It's important that you really take time to assess your current dating patterns and really own, are they working? And what will it cost you if you just keep trying harder? You take the information that you learn, you read the books, and you go out and you try and you try. But what happens for most women, and I do hundreds of assessments with women that really unlocks why they're still single, my D-factor assessment. And what happens is that no matter how much we try, these nasty little default tendencies, these old beliefs based on our past experiences, they keep coming up, especially when we're triggered or we're scared or we really like him. And it literally becomes impossible to try harder. We are stuck. So what you have to do is stop trying harder at what's not working and come up with your intentional dating plan. How are you going to unwind and unravel those beliefs that aren't serving you? How are you going to understand what is an appropriate expectation? Are you going to be able to communicate and express your feelings in a way that's not bossy or bitchy or weak, but really feminine and really powerful? Do you know how to communicate who you are as a strong feminine woman on your online profile? Does it come across in your text messages? You need to create a plan based on dating with dignity. And now I'm going to teach you what 3 elements that plan has to have. Let's take the next step so you can magnetize boyfriend material using tools rather than rules. Number 1, figure out what messages you are broadcasting. Own it and then clear them up. Look at who you're attracting and why. Really review what we talked about in video 2 in terms of the manimals. Are you in fact attracting men based on those beliefs that aren't serving you anymore? Why are you holding on to them? What would it look like to stop? And then finally, create that plan so that you can get him to fall for you because you're dating from a place of confidence. The number 1 thing that men are really attracted to. So let's talk about that plan. There's 3 pieces to the plan to date with dignity and really magnetize men, the good guys, and they're all based on these secrets that men want you to know. So what are they? These 3 keystones, cornerstones, foundation principles. Without all 3 of them, you can't actually succeed in love. It's almost like a bar stool, right? If you don't have those 3 even legs, the bar stool tips over. It's not stable. So number 1 is self-worth, self-esteem. We want you to be in a place where you value yourself, that the way you define yourself is in a positive light, that you think you're worth it, that you take cake rather than crumbs because that's really how you feel about yourself. Now, the second piece, the second cornerstone is sex appeal. We're not talking about being sexy or slutty or sexual. We're talking about connecting to your feminine. Now, here's the thing. I know for a lot of us, me including, and actually most of my clients who are really strong, successful women, we don't want to have to jump into that feminine energy box because it's really not who we are. But the bottom line is we're all women And most of us really want to attract that modern alpha male, the strong guy who's also got a big heart and connects to his emotions. And there is no way around it. In order to attract this guy, we have to be able to connect to our feminine self. We have to be willing to be vulnerable. We have to be open. We have to be fearless, even when we're terrified. And we have to learn how to receive love. And I know that's really hard because I remember being in that place of thinking, if I receive it, if I allow it, if it goes away, I might die. And I knew after working through this that I wouldn't die. And that gave me the power and the confidence that men are really attracted to. And then finally, the third and final piece is you have to have dating savvy. You have to know how to date in the 21st century. You have to know how to text and instant message and date online. You have to know how you can actually pursue a man without letting him know that he's being pursued so that he can step into his alpha. There are tricks, there are scripts, there are tools, there are strategies. And in order to really be successful in today's modern world, you have to learn how to date in a savvy way. So stay tuned because in about 2 seconds, I'm going to tell you how you can master the magic 3. I'm going to give you the key. So here we go. Voila! You have finished. Congratulations. I am so blessed that you chose to spend time with me to really figure out what it takes to be that 10% better than 90% of the women out there. Now, here's the thing. A lot of you will understand that connecting the dots and having the ahas is great, but it just doesn't seem to be enough. So I'm going to clarify why that's not working for you. Because what happens is that when you bring another person into the mix, you're feeling confident, you remembered what I taught you, you go out there and then you meet an amazing guy. And all of a sudden, you get right back to those default patterns, to the being fearful, to feeling like you're not enough, to losing your power, to not knowing what to say. And what I know is that the women who understand this, the women who say, you know what, it's not just going to happen magically from information and ahas. The women who know that it takes accountability and the practical tools so that they can really make a difference. Stop wishing and start really having what they want. They take action. And I think that that's probably you because you're here. And what I know, ladies, from the bottom of my heart is that I absolutely can help you. So if this sounds like it's something that's resonating for you, stay with me for a few more minutes because I want to introduce you to the 14-day Super Me Challenge. It's 14 days and it's designed for a woman like you who's smart, who's sophisticated, and who wants to really stop understanding and wants to start putting it into action. So in this 14-day series, you're going to get 14 very short videos from me. They're 3 to 5 minutes each and a really lovely journaling prompts. So you watch the video and then you work through the exercises and you will actually start to unwind and unravel those beliefs of I'm not enough. And you'll start to understand what to do in the moment so that you can actually make a different choice. That's what it's really about, ladies. It's about not just understanding, but making a different choice and taking action. So we know from women who have done the Super Me Challenge that because they have the know-how and the awareness, they actually start to shift and start to attract better men. I've had ladies write me emails after just 3 or 4 days and say all of a sudden they were able to do what it took to let go of the guy who's just not the right one. They started to feel hopeful. They started to get excited about dating, and they felt relieved that they were done with the emotional roller coaster. That after just 14 days, their happiness didn't depend on whether the guy called or whether he didn't, because they had those 3 keys that I talked about in the video. They had self-worth, they had sex appeal, they were being in their feminine, and they had dating savvy, the skills that they needed in the 21st century to date. And what does that add up to? It adds up to you now knowing how to be that 10% better than 90% of the women so that when a guy goes on a date with you, and he gets back in his car, he is left longing for you. He is left wanting to get to know who you are better. And he is left knowing that you have that something special that makes you possibly miss right rather than miss right now. So these are my best tools and tips. And to be honest, I wish that I could work with all of you privately. I really do. And women pay lots and lots of money for this, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars an hour. And I'm giving it all to you in this really easy to digest formula that is designed exactly for women who are done wishing for a relationship and ready to get intentional and learn how to date with dignity and self-love, stop the patterns, stop dating the wrong guy over and over again with a different face, and start to love themselves, and then as a result, find someone amazing to love. So join this community of women who are on it, who are smart, who are dating with dignity, and who are getting results. Amazing boyfriends, marriages, and long-term partnerships. So all you have to do to take the challenge, get started right now, is just click the link and say yes to you so that some guy out there who's looking for you can say yes right back. All right, I'll see you soon. Thanks and join us. I can't wait to work with you.